Hey everybody, it's me, Zach. This is Judy, and welcome back to our channel. Hey everybody, it's me, Zach, and I'm back again to get back into some Amberlynn drama, although hopefully, because she's on a hiatus, we'll still have time to get some other content in there that's not Amberlynn Reid related. Of course, her hiatus only applies to YouTube. She's still posting and engaging with the nonsense every day on Instagram, which if it was me, just me, personally me, if I was taking a break from my job on YouTube, I would also just take a break from dealing with the nonsense of maybe the aspects of YouTube I don't like the people saying mean things to me in the comments. But, well, that's not me. People are not saying a ton of mean things about me in the comments. But, for her, that is something she has said she doesn't like. So what does she do? She spends every last day of December going into the new year posting on Instagram, responding to Q&As and things like that. And certainly she's welcome to do whatever she wants to do with her platform, with her social media engagement, whoever, whatever it might be. And a lot of people are able to just not even see the stuff she's posting on Instagram because not everybody has every social media platform. And so a lot of y'all might not even know that she's posting over and over and over again on Instagram for the past week. So in case you didn't know, that is something she's doing. And there's probably some channels that are doing a great job of keeping up with every single thing she's ever posted over that period of time. I just could not. I mean, she's talking about all kinds of things from her alleged IQ to things she wants to do in terms of losing weight, battling fat phobia, talking about me, talking about other reaction channels. I mean, she's literally just doing the utmost over there. But I'm really gonna focus on the 35 screenshots I took where she was talking about me or indirectly about me. And to be honest, I don't even know if that really actually includes all the times that she talked about me, because I was just taking screenshots as I saw them. And this really has been going on for a week, okay? I don't know why she's hyper fixated on me right now. It's happened before, and I guess I just want to say before we get into all of this stuff, a few things. And I've said some of this on Twitch and also on Instagram, so if this sounds familiar to you, I'm sorry. I also just recognize that people don't follow me on every single social media platform, and YouTube is the platform that most people follow me on. So if I want to share something with the majority of my audience, it's going to be here. So some of this might be a little bit repetitive if you've already heard me talk about stuff on those other platforms, okay? And that goes for the whole video, not just what I'm about to say, but also specifically about what I'm just about to say. So when it comes to these Q&As, I just want you to keep a few things in mind, okay? I don't want people to feel like they need to defend me when it comes to these Q&As and things like that. I really appreciate where the thought comes from, but you really don't have to go into her DMs, her Q&As, whatever it might be, and feel like you need to defend me, because as you're about to see in this video, I'm more than capable of defending myself. And it leads to, the reason I say that you don't need to do it is because it leads to her saying oh, Zach, this is your audience. They're saying all these bad things. When the reality is who knows if some of these people, I'm sure some of you are asking her questions about me and you are my audience, but who knows if all of these people that are asking questions through this Instagram Q&A are actually people that follow me, support me, that I would agree with me, things like that. You know what I'm saying? In reality, I think a good chunk of all of the questions Amberlynn gets on Instagram are really from people who are trying to get some kind of reaction out of her, if I'm being honest with you. And we'll talk more about that whenever the conversation about my pronouns come up, okay? But in general, I think a lot of people are just trying to get some kind of reaction out of her, and so they're saying things that they think might get her worked up. And because she's talked so much about me and these things, from one question to another, people continue to ask her questions about me and try to get her fired up. So I think that that's really at least a good chunk of it. It might not be all of them. And again, also, this is hard to say because this is all anonymous to us. Amberlynn on her side can see who's asking these questions, right? but on our side, we don't get to see who's asking her the questions. And on that note, it's also important to keep in mind that Amberlynn gets to pick these questions, right? I just did an Instagram Q&A while I was traveling back from seeing my family at this wedding I went to this weekend, and I got to pick the questions I wanted to answer, and I had a lot of fun doing it. You might notice I didn't pick any questions about Amberlynn. I didn't pick any questions where, well, there weren't really people trying to be hateful to me, but I purposely picked questions that I wanted to share about when it came to my life, right? Nobody forced me to answer any of those questions, so also keep that in mind when we're going over all of these questions that she answered about me. And I don't think I really have anything else to preface, so let's just get into it. I do know also, whenever I reacted to Pink Sparkles, I did address maybe one or two of her posts, and honestly, what I should have done is gone back to check where I started with that, and I'm not sure that I did. So maybe some of that is a little bit of repeat too, but I think it might help to get the full entire scope of our questions that were answered about me if I just start from where I picked in terms of the screenshots that I have. So where things started is somebody, and this is the one I think I might have already addressed in the Pink Sparkle, so we won't spend too much time talking about it, but she had somebody that said 16 out of 17 of Zachary Michael's videos last month are about you. Imagine if you quit YouTube, even temporary, RIP his channel. And she said, wow, 16 out of 17? At this rate, I am his boss and keeping him employed. Kind of flattered. Which is funny, right? Because, you know, she's focusing specifically on the month of Vlogmas, where she was posting a lot. I mean, if you're talking about Vlogmas on its own, she posted 25 days. You can add on a couple additional days right before Vlogmas where she was daily vlogging that I think I covered some of those too. And that's clearly showing that I didn't necessarily react to every single video that she even posted during the month of December. And it's also ignoring the fact that outside of Vlogmas, I do, in fact, react to and cover other topics. And granted, I don't want to misrepresent anything. I definitely cover a lot of Amberlynn Reid, which is why I'm also okay with her saying whatever she wants in these Instagrams about me. She's welcome to say whatever she wants about me. I mean, I surely have plenty of opinions on her, so she's welcome to have these as well. But I'm just saying, like, you're specifically focusing on how in the past month I did that, but that's not necessarily true of my channel at all times, right? If we're just, like, speaking factually. In that Pink Sparkles video, though, I did talk about, and I've said this more than just that video, I've talked about this in several videos when people like to bring up this, oh, it's so weird that you are so obsessed with Amberlynn. I compared her to the TLC shows I cover, to just like random other reality shows that I like to watch because I also follow YouTubers that cover those reality shows, okay? And I kind of compare Amberlynn to a reality show for me personally. So this person said, Zachary Michael reacts to TLC shows, but doesn't show the actual video. Why? Because copyright. And Amberlynn's response was, exactly. If he wants to compare me to TV shows, then treat me like them too. Show the whole TLC video, Zachary baby, or don't show mine at all. But he isn't ready for that conversation. I'm sure he will have a wide range of excuses that will fall flat until they reach biased ears. Which, hold on to the part about me having a wide range of excuses that will allegedly fall flat, okay? But I am definitely ready for this conversation. Happy to have it, because there's lots of nuance here that she's not including. So one, TLC shows like the 1,000 Pound Best Friends and 1,000 Pound Sisters are hour-long television shows, okay? If I sat here and reacted and paused and started and paused and stopped while I watched one of those episodes, my videos would be nearly 2 hours long. And while a lot of you would probably love that, it's not a fun editing job for me to go back and rewatch all of that and do it. It just like takes way too long. So I choose to watch it, take notes, take the clips I want to talk about, and edit it into a nice video. So that's my primary reason for doing it that way. And in fact, I've actually treated Amberlynn the same way in the past. Like when she was in her live stream era and was streaming for at least a minimum of an hour at a time, I went and took clips and just talked about the clips I wanted to talk about, and have done that when she's posted really long videos before. What I'm saying is that it's a different type of content, so I cover it in a different type of way. But furthermore, TLC as an entity and Discovery, which owns TLC as an entity, is much different than Amberlynn, and I think that nuance is important because, you know, I don't have the resources to battle a large, huge company, right? Who has millions of dollars to probably destroy me in court. But when it comes to creator, you know, I know what I'm doing holds up. Amberlynn and I probably have about the same number of resources in terms of being able to address that in a court of law if it came to that. Which, like, maybe is besides the point, because the larger point is that the way that I do it is because of the format of the content. But either way, I just want to be clear about what's really going on in this situation, okay? So then this is where somebody provides a valid argument, which also, wait, before I get to that, sorry, my thoughts are going to be a little bit all over the place because she just covers so much nonsense. But before I get to that, I also just want to be clear, I do actually cut out a significant portion of her videos. Just speaking to Vlogmas as an example, I don't remember a single video where I didn't at least cut out something from her original video and didn't cover something. Because at a minimum, I mostly never covered the cat advent calendar. And that was always a good 3 to 5 minute chunk of her videos. And usually I also cut out anything with the pets because I just don't have anything to say about it. You know what I'm saying? So this person offers a valid piece of feedback and says that he could easily show the full show and provide commentary. It's fair use, and then said, I thought you watched H3, which I agree. I feel like I could and still edit it in the same way that I edit Amberlynn videos, and it would fall under fair use. It's just not how I do it. Her response is, fair use is situational based. People seem to forget about that. This conversation is overplayed. I know what's right and I know what's wrong, but I'm done putting energy into it, LMAO. She talked about, you know, people like not wanting to have the conversation, people, you know, giving lame excuses and falling flat and things like that, when she's literally over here saying, well, this conversation's overplayed and I'm done having this conversation. It's just so silly. And to be honest, she's not done having it because she will continue to talk about it later. But it's just like, oh, so you're not ready to have that conversation because you just said, I'm done putting energy into it. I'm not having this conversation. Okay. Cool. So this is where she does keep talking about it because somebody says fair use isn't situational. You clearly don't know what you're talking about. And she says, yes, it very much is situational. It all depends on the judge and what they decide should be considered fair use based on the specific case. And then she takes a screenshot of the different things that judges take into account for whether or not something is fair use. When I say that that she just explained how court systems work in general, yes, that is how going to court works. Every case in that case is situational, right? Like any law can be situational. Like, sure, there is not a blanket thing. That's why you take things to court. Like, if something goes to court, a judge is going to decide and make a ruling based on the situation. However, judges usually use precedent from other cases like the H3 case to help them make those decisions. That's how we have this list of factors. So yeah, of course, I mean, using that logic, yes, everything is situational when it comes to a court of law. Like, what? So then there comes this conversation about my bachelor's degree, my master's degree, my education and stuff in general. So I have plenty of thoughts to share with you all about this, okay? So please be patient. But somebody said, Zach has a master's degree. What do you have? Health problems and mobility issues? And let me just be clear before I even read Amberlynn's response. Y'all know if you watch my fucking channel that I don't go out of my way to shame Amberlynn for her health problems, her mobility issues. I think for the most part, I'm usually pretty empathetic to a point that some people think I'm too nice and too easy on Amberlynn, but I am somebody who has had my own health issues. I have lots of people in my family who have mobility and health issues due to their weight, and so it's not something I'm trying to shame her on. I watch her because that's part of like the interest for me, because I can relate. This is why I'm like, who knows if this person is actually somebody that is an active fan of mine, because that's not what I talk about on my channel. I don't encourage that behavior. I discourage it, in fact. Amberlynn's response to this is, this question just proves everything I've ever tried to share. Zach, these are your viewers. These are the people who surround your channel, and you know why. You're smarter than that, and you allow it by continuously making content about me. You know what your community is, period. And I have to say that that's not reflective of the people I've interacted with in my community. For the most part, there are occasionally some people in the comments of my YouTube section that have shit to talk about Amberlynn, but overwhelmingly, most people are very positive, very kind, very nice. And further, I have a great community that I interact with on Twitch who found me from YouTube and joined me on Twitch, who are great people and I've gotten to know and interact with in a great way, and none of them would say something like this in any of my comment sections or things like that. That's not to say that they don't exist, but I'm just saying overwhelmingly, like, this is not the energy that surrounds my channel. So honestly, I want to say I do understand where she's coming from. I understand why she's attributing that to my community and things like that. I'm just saying she's incorrect, and I don't believe that, because like, how can I prove that this person comes from my channel when this is like an anonymous comment? I couldn't tell you if this person follows me. They probably do, and even if they do follow me, doesn't mean that like I co-sign that sentiment, right? So I was very chill with the master's degree conversation up until this next story, which somebody says, Zach has a master's degree, but still has nothing better to do. And she said, which is so odd. It's not a flex to choose reacting to Amberlynn Reid versus doing something positive with your master's degree. And I take issue with that because, one, I don't know that I've ever tried to flex on my master's degree. I really value and care about education, but because I work in higher education, or have worked in higher education, I should say, I know how hard and difficult it is for people to even get access to education, higher education specifically, because it's so expensive and there's so much effed up nonsense surrounding education in America, okay? So I really value it. I talk about it when it's relevant on my channel, but I would never try to flex on it like it's something that makes me better than other people. I don't think that my master's degree makes me a better person than Amberlynn Reid. I know many great people in my life who don't have any post-high school degree, who are lovely, do great things with their time and energy, okay? So let me just be clear about that first of all. Second of all, I did great things with my master's degree, okay? I worked in education for 6 years before I decided to quit and do YouTube full time. So I have done a lot of great things with my master's degree, and also continue to do great things with my master's degree. The things I learned in both of my degrees and all of my education is what has shaped me to be the person that I am today, or it's part of what has shaped me to be the person that I am today. And so much of what I learned specifically in my master's degree has shaped how I have had conversations on this channel about mental health, how I've had conversations on this channel about other societal issues, social justice issues. It's helped me understand who I am as a queer person. And so to say that just because I'm not actively working in something that's associated with my degrees means that I'm not doing great things with my degrees, when education is more about learning and growing as a human than it is about whatever job is on the end of that degree, it's just wild to me. And I hinted at this in the video I posted yesterday, but so many people have told me that I have been a great help to them, that they look forward to my videos, that I've helped them with their anxiety, their stress, that I'm their comfort YouTuber. So I know that I am still doing good things with my degree, with my person, with what I do every day and wake up to do every day here on the internet. So I worked really hard to learn and grow, and it's something I continue to value. It's why I continue to take feedback from people to try to be a better person every day. And education will always be something that is important to me, and I will talk about it when it's relevant, but I'll never talk about it as a means to flex on Amberlynn or anybody else. Another person said, Zach isn't responsible for a viewer being an asshole. It's not a cult, LOL. And she said, I don't think you understand what I'm saying, but okay. Another person said, why do you hate Zach so much when he's like the nicest reactor? And she said, I don't hate him at all. I just disagree with his content. I think that is a valid response, because a lot of people ask me why I hate Amberlynn so much. And honestly, I don't hate Amberlynn. I don't always agree with everything she does on her channel, but I don't hate her. I don't have that level of emotion towards her. If you want to talk about somebody I probably would use the word hate for, it'd be old Chantal Marie, okay? But Amberlynn I don't hate, and I'm sure she doesn't hate me either. It's okay for her to disagree with my content. So this person said, Zach loves this lifestyle. Money off nitpicking others. He doesn't have to be original in the slightest, which I don't know. I have a lot of thoughts about what this person is suggesting the lifestyle that I'm living is. But anyways, her response was, and this is really small, so I hope you could read this, but her response was, and most vlogs he has done still directly is either about me, mocking me, copying something I've done, referencing me, etc. Someone sent me a clip of him literally saying that he is an Amberlynn Reid channel, which I don't know, I might have said, but also I've also never denied that I make a lot of Amberlynn Reid content. Fair use doesn't work when your channel is about mainly one person and you react to 95% of the content they put out. H3 didn't fight for someone to obsessively make their whole income about one person's video by reacting to said person's video in video form, constantly. He fought for clips here and there, reactions of several people over a period of time, etc. No one seems to be ready for that conversation. Get used to that phrase. It's gonna get real annoying real quick. And they get so damn hasty and hostile whenever I step outside of the box they want me in, and I decide to express the nature of what is truly happening and how I feel about it. One thing I guess I'll make note of here is that she seems to be confusing aspects of YouTube's terms of service with fair use. So there is a terms of service rule, etc., about constantly harassing one creator, which is not how I would describe my channel, if that makes sense. But it doesn't have anything to do with fair use. So I think she's like blurring those two things together when she talks about like the 95% of my content being about her, which I don't know where she also came up with that percentage. I'd be curious if she actually did the math to figure that out. I mean, I don't know what percentage of my content is about her either. I was just curious. But yeah, I probably have at some point said that I was an Amberlynn Reid channel. I don't know, but I just want to emphasize I've never denied that I make a lot of content about Amberlynn Reid. Just to be clear, I don't know where this fantasy about like me denying it. I mean, all you have to do is literally go look at my channel. I'm not stupid. I'm just saying I don't only react to Amberlynn Reid and do have other content outside of that. And in fact, even took like a 3 to 4 month break back in 2020 from covering her at all, and my channel did just fine. So I'm just like, what are we even talking about here, bestie? And I also, I guess at this point, just want to say that after I saw this one, I'm just like, if you really think that there's something wrong with my channel, like what I'm doing on my channel, then yeah, Amberlynn, report me. Strike me. I mean, I don't want to welcome that. I would rather you not. But like, it's a lot of talk, and I just want to say, like, shit or get off the pot. You know what I'm saying? Like, shit or get off the pot, because you're right. This is a tired conversation. We've had it so many times at this point. Another person said, why do you get to say hypocritical things about Zach, but he can't talk about you? And she said, laughing emoji, his whole channel is me. And, you know, that's why I said at the beginning of this, I think it's fine if she wants to talk about me. It really is. Another person said, college degree doesn't equal better or smarter than everyone else. Just says you know some shit. And she said, exactly, college isn't for everyone. Normalize being a decent human being and leave behind, oh, he has a master's degree, so he can do whatever he wants nonsense. Well, one, I don't think anybody's saying that just because I have a master's degree, I can do whatever I want. And two, that's also not anything I'm trying to say either. Like, there are all kinds of, trust me, I've worked in academia. I have worked with professors. I've worked with other people that have master's degrees. And simply having an education does not make you a good person, okay? I can promise you that from my personal experience. I've never tried to make this claim. I just value education, okay? And I will talk about my life when it's relevant to the discussion. Another person said, how is you shaming Zachary Michael's master's degree any different than when you cried he was being ableist? And she said, now I'm college shaming. I can't, ha 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 ha. And also, I don't know that, like, talking about my master's degree is the same as somebody being ableist. I mean, I don't know that I have ever actively tried to be ableist towards Amberlynn, although we have discussed that in the past and the things that I was willing to change about my language and things like that. But I think concerns about ableism are much different than, like, somebody critiquing how I choose to use my master's degree. Just to Amberlynn's credit. Another person said, to be honest, I watch Zach, but I still find a balance between you both, and I also really enjoy you. And she said, thank you, and I think that is perfectly fine and lovely. I'm glad you enjoy us both. Another person said, Zach also gives you credit where credit is due. He seems like he does really want you to do well. I would agree. She said, he shouldn't get a round of applause for that. I don't think anybody is. That's like giving someone a round of applause for not cheating on their spouse. Like, okay, y'all, I don't hate Zach. I just absolutely, without a doubt, disagree with the usage of his channel. His channel is me and the rare Chantal Tammy moments, which I don't know what that means. Which Tammy is she talking about? Like Tammy Slayton? Because for both the Slaytons and Chantal, I do have actually like full playlists full of content about both of them. Maybe not to the extent that I do Amberlynn, but I certainly have made lots of content about both the Slayton sisters and Chantal. I should be allowed to express that I don't like someone else using my content constantly without getting attacked, LOL. Yeah, great. Sure. Wonderful. Perfect. I mean, like, she is allowed to share it. You know, she's also allowed to ignore the people getting upset about her. You know, she's allowed to make all kinds of choices in her life, and these are the choices she's making. You know what I'm saying? Another person says, I'm a Zachary Michael enjoyer and a supporter of you. We exist. And she said, I know you do. It doesn't take away that I disagree with his content. I disagree with anyone watching almost every single one of my videos on their channel as their content. He can talk about me daily, all day long, but watching my full videos with a few minutes edited out here and there is ridiculous and lazy. Well, I would disagree about the ridiculous and lazy part, but here we are. YouTube is now being more serious about channels that are compilations of me. That's not me. I'm not a compilation channel. And they're slowly demonetizing them, so that doesn't apply to me. I truly believe that this is the future for reactors who react to majority of my content. Here's a couple things I want to say about that. Again, okay, do something about it. Yeah, like, if you really truly believe I'm in the wrong, like, I don't know, just do something about it. But two, something I haven't introduced yet in this video, but I have been thinking a lot about as she's been doing all of this on Instagram, talking about fair use, talking about this, that, the other. She really must think it's situational because, you know, and this is not to put Kaya Life Simons on blast, okay? Like, I don't have any issue with her. And I'm saying that because somebody was like, Zach, what do you have against her? I don't have anything against her. I just use her as an example because Amberlynn has talked about enjoying her channel, enjoying her content, and her content is all about watching Chantal on the regular. And like, that's every single like live stream that she's done recently. And I don't have a problem with that, okay? I do not have an issue with that as somebody who makes similar content except about Amberlynn. But what I'm saying is Amberlynn clearly does think this is situational because it's a situation where it's not about her, so she enjoys it. You know, it just doesn't make any damn sense to me that she thinks that this is how the court system works. like it's bad because Zach is doing it to me, but it's not bad that Kaya is doing it to Chantal. It doesn't add up. And then on top of that, she has even recently said there's still one reaction channel that she does watch about herself that she enjoys. So, what's the tea, Amberlynn? Another person says, reaction channels and your channel are symbiotic. You get views because of Zachary Michael and vice versa. You're partners. And then she said, at my expense, not theirs. And I'm curious what she thinks about that. A lot of people do say that. She's going to talk about how people somehow reach out to her, comment on her video or something, and allegedly say that they never watch her, they only watch through me or whatever. And that actually is probably the case for some people that they don't watch her. But there's so many people who I could pull up the receipts of in my comment section that say like, oh, I watch Amberlynn because of you. I found you through your 1,000 Pound Sisters content. I started watching the videos you make about Amberlynn and now I watch her. So I think it is probably more symbiotic than she thinks. But, you know, I don't know what she means by my expense. Like, I don't know if that's like what exactly that means, I guess. That's all I'm saying. Then somebody asked her if she'd rather me or Jordy. Oh lordy, it's Jordy. And she said Zachary Michael because at least he uses a little bit of common sense, unlike Jordy. And Jordy is just nasty. It's cringe. Wow. Okay, all right. Well, I'm glad you picked me because of my little bit of common sense. You could have just picked neither of us. You could have just not answered that question. Which I guess I'm just saying because she, at some point, even, I think it was today, talked about how the reason that she even addresses this stuff is because she wants people to understand her better, which I do get to some extent. Like, I think it's helpful to understand why she thinks reaction channels are a problem. But, like, what does this particular one help anybody understand? You know, like, what is helpful in this outside of just like letting people know you think Jordy is nasty. Another person said, just me, but I find Jordy to be cruel and obsessive and Zach seems more just silly / harmless. And Amberlynn said, I can definitely see this point of view, which is so fascinating because she has actually in the past said that I was harmless. She literally referred to me as harmless, but she does go back and forth on that all the time. Another person says, you seem weirdly obsessed with Zachary Michael at the moment. Why focus on them, especially with such bitterness? And she said, I'm weirdly obsessed with him because I mention him on Instagram ever so often because I'm prompted, even though he has a whole ass channel about me and my every move. Oh, okay, gotcha. Yeah, I don't think she's obsessed with me. I think she is just stirring stuff up on Instagram. And then this is where the conversation about pronouns go. And honestly, before we get into the conversation about pronouns, I'll leave a link to every video I've ever made about my gender identity, how I identify, what pronouns I use, because at least on Instagram and Twitter, well, Instagram, where this conversation is happening, I have my pronouns very much listed there. I do use he or they. He, him, his, they, them, theirs. Either is fine. And actually, for real, anything with, like, respect is fine. Okay, as long as you're not, like, saying something to me in, like, a derogatory tone or way, or it feels like you're not trying to be genuinely kind about it, is fine, you know? But anyways, I have made several videos about this, including one where in the past somebody accused her of not using my correct pronouns. I don't think Amberlynn is in the wrong here. And this is also what leads me to say is that, like, if you know enough about me being non-binary, but you don't know what pronouns I use, then that means that you're probably not the fan that Amberlynn thinks you are, right? Like, if you have followed me long enough to know that I'm non-binary and you are accusing her of using the wrong pronouns, it probably means that you're just trying to stir something up with her, which I wish she could also see, you know? I wish she could also realize, like, the cognitive dissonance of, like, wow, these people are probably not actually fans of Zachary Michaels if they don't understand what pronouns Zachary Michael uses. So this person said, you probably didn't know, but Zachary Michael's non-binary. Please use their preferred pronouns. Thanks. And Amberlynn said, I do, which she does. Another person said, actively not respecting pronouns because you don't like their opinions is beyond ridiculous, which I don't think she was doing. Amberlynn said Zach's pronouns are he/they. I do respect his pronouns. He has also talked about this multiple times on his channel. You're ridiculous for assuming I'm not respecting his pronouns before even learning what they actually are. I'd never misgender someone because of their opinion or for any other reason, period. And another person said Zach literally did a video stating you are using his correct pronouns. People love to make you look bad. And she said they get off on it. It's so weird. And I don't know that it's actually about trying to make her look bad. Maybe there's probably a portion of it that it is. I also think it's very much, though, just people trying to, like, get her riled up, right? Like, I think a big part of it is also, like, they want a reaction out of Amberlynn. Another person said, rewind, you said you get over 300 questions and yet you picked the ones on Zachary Michael over all the others. Okay, which I do agree with. She was always talking about how many questions she gets and she could just scroll over those, okay? But she doesn't. So her response was, I get flooded with the same kind of questions. I'm allowed to answer what I want about whatever I want. True. If I want to express how I feel about someone who has made their whole income based off of me and my content and the videos that I put work into, I can, period. We can have, like, an interesting conversation. It's gonna come up about, like, my whole income or whatever, or, like, my income in general, this, that, the other. Any kind of discussion about my income coming from Amberlynn, who doesn't want us to pry into her finances and what she can or can't make or do or this, that, the other, is interesting. But also, let's just be clear, my whole income does not come from Amberlynn Reed, regardless of whatever my daytime profession is. So just so we're clear about that. Then somebody said, look on Zach's Instagram story. He denounces these people as fans and don't take any notice of them. And then Amberlynn did share my Instagram story. I don't need to reread all of that because it's pretty much stuff I've already said in this video. Another person said, I love Zachary Michael for being fair. There's a reason why he's the only successful reaction channel. I don't know if that's true, that I'm the only successful one, but that's very kind for you to say. And Amberlynn said he's definitely fair regarding certain topics, like this topic and the striking of channels topic, which goes appreciated. Thank God. Thank you for the appreciation, Amberlynn. Another person, and I don't quite understand this one just for the record, says, reaction channels blame you for their decline in views. Zach is the proof that they are the problem. And then Amberlynn said, this is actually a very interesting statement. Hopefully Jordy sees it. I don't understand how I'm proof that reaction channels are the problem in their decline in views. My views have been fine, so I don't know how I'm involved in this. I really don't. Has Jordy been saying that he has a decline of views? I don't really get it, but it was about me, so I'm including it. This person is clearly, again, somebody who just, like, doesn't understand, at the very least, how pronouns work, okay? Probably doesn't have the best intentions of messaging her, so I don't know why she's giving it that energy. But this person says, his pronouns are he/they, and you said him, so you did misgender. Which, like, this person, by their logic, used his to describe me, so by their logic, they misgendered me. But they clearly don't understand. When people say he/they, they mean any of the he, him, his pronouns are fine, and either the they, them, theirs pronouns are fine. Just to be clear, in case people don't understand that. And Amberlynn said, wait, this has to be a joke at this point, which is not something to joke about. Like, what the fuck are you talking about yet? This person, like, this is why it's like, why are you giving this energy when this person clearly is committed to misunderstanding? And then, again, Somebody said, how do you feel about Zachary Michael? Sometimes you're fine with him, then you throw shade, question mark, question mark. I don't think anything also, by the way, the like total appropriation of the word shade here, I don't think she's throwing shade. Like, shade is supposed to be like subtle, catty, etc. She's just being very direct, okay? She's being very direct and just saying her thoughts about me. That's not shade. That's just her stating an opinion. But she said, defending myself, expressing my thoughts on his channel, etc. is not shade. I agree. Somebody said, Zach and Jordy put more effort into your videos than you do, and that's why people watch them. She said, Zach edits a little, so I'll give him that. Jay doesn't edit. Jordy doesn't do anything but sit there. That's not effort. LMFAO. I put way more effort in my videos than both of them combined. I would be hard pressed to believe that, but it's also probably a matter of opinion, and opinion can be subjective. So if she believes that, good for you, bestie. good for you. What do you think about Zachary Michael getting more views than you? Is that in any way threatening to your channel? She said, it's against terms of service to take views from another creator. I receive comments and messages all day long that says, I only watch you through Zach. This isn't allowed on YouTube, so yes, it's threatening my channel because of that reason. I don't know what I'm supposed to do about that, I guess is the first thing I'll say, but also, I'm confused about how she's getting comments. I can understand messages, okay, but how she's getting comments on YouTube videos saying that they only watch her through me, but yet they're commenting on her YouTube video, which is giving her views and engagement. Like, that part doesn't make sense to me. Another person said, Zach isn't taking your views. You're losing views because of your behavior in videos. She said, literally me just living a normal life. When I'm sticking up for myself, people say I have a horrible behavior. Everything on YouTube is so hypocritical, it's crazy. It's interesting because that person didn't actually say that she had horrible behavior. They just said her behavior in general. And literally her behavior in general of just literally living her normal life is a behavior. And a lot of people think it's boring. And I think people are not watching, you know? Like, I think that's still a behavior that you're still responsible for, you know? Do you feel me? Do you understand? No, this person didn't necessarily say her behavior was horrible. They're just saying her behavior is what led to people not watching her. This isn't necessarily about me, but I just included it because I find it to be so hilarious. The person said, why do you write fucking like F-U-C-K exclamation point N? You're not censoring the bad word. Girl, be fucking for real. Her response is so funny to me because how have you been on the internet this fucking long and don't know that you can use the word fuck on Instagram? But she said, because I'm not 100% sure how Instagram works when it comes to cursing. That's all. Not that big of a deal, LMAO. And it's not that big of a deal. I just think it's so ridiculous that she doesn't know how Instagram works. Like, what does she think's gonna happen? She thinks that nobody's ever said fuck on Instagram before and she's gonna get kicked off the platform. And this one isn't explicitly about me, but does reference the part about watching content through somebody else's videos. And so I just wanted to add a little bit of follow-up with it. But somebody asked to show us in the terms of service where watching content through someone else's videos is not allowed. And she quoted this screenshot that says, can I play someone else's YouTube video on my channel? And this is also not from terms of service necessarily. It's from the frequently asked questions about copyright section of the YouTube help section of Google. But Google's response to that question is, for example, YouTube cannot grant you the rights to use content that has already been uploaded to the site. If you wish to use someone else's YouTube video, you may want to reach out to them directly. Some creators list ways they can be contacted in their channel. And I also just want to be clear, I haven't tried doing this, but this is clearly just like her quick Google search because it shows the link down below where you can click on to go to the full page where there's probably way more context than what she just showed right here. From my context of knowing how YouTube works, This particular snippet is more so about whether or not you can just fully replay somebody's video, or that's what seems to be the case for me. I don't do that. I don't know how to repeat to Amberlynn that I don't do that. I consistently edit her videos, like in terms of like what I'm reacting to. I don't show the whole thing. And on top of that, I'm adding my commentary, which significantly changes the video itself. And then I believe this is the last one, and it just literally got posted overnight while I was sleeping, and a lot of people actually messaged me particularly about this one. But this person said, Zachary Michael quit his job nearly 2 years ago and has been living off of you since then. And there's so much to unpack with that. There's so much to unpack with that. But she said, I know he doesn't have a job, but for some reason his viewers think he has a job outside of YouTube. And I'm like, yikes, which like makes it sound like I've been trying to keep that I don't work full time outside of YouTube from people, which I really haven't. We can talk about that more in just a second. She said, I literally should get a percentage of his AdSense income. Yeah, copyright strike me. That's how that works if you really think you have a case. He is literally making money off of me. It's so crazy. I literally could never do that to someone. Let's start with, first of all, the part about people not knowing that I don't work full-time outside of YouTube anymore. I don't actively bring it up all the time on YouTube because, like I mentioned, when it came to just my master's degree in general, I typically only bring these things up about my personal life when it's relevant because my channel is not about me. It's just not. It's never been, well, I guess like maybe when I first started making YouTube videos and wasn't exactly sure what I wanted to do on YouTube, I included stuff about myself. Unless it's relevant, I don't typically share like intimate details in YouTube videos about what I'm doing on a daily basis. With that being said, the last live stream I did, I don't do a whole lot, so you can literally fact check me on this. The very last one I did, you can go click on the live tab of my YouTube channel and you can go watch it. I don't have a specific timestamp, but I did explicitly answer, somebody asked me in that live stream if I still worked my full-time job, and I said, no, I haven't done that since February, okay, of 2021, okay? Three, am I on number 3? I think I just picked a random number. I do actively talk about it on Twitch on a near daily basis. I mean, I guess maybe not really a daily basis, but I talk about what I do at my day-to-day basis on Twitch, and if you've watched me on Twitch, nobody's confused about the fact that I don't work a full-time job anymore. And I think I had something else to say, but I really don't remember what it was. I literally got a text from Noel and spaced out for 2 seconds. And yeah, I think I've said everything I need to say about that. I'm not trying to be, I just like don't care for how her response tries to make it out like I've been deceptive about my job, my income. Oh, that's what it is. I remembered. Also, honestly, if people just like critically thought about it, you would probably realize that if I'm putting out videos Monday through Friday on a regular basis and streaming for 2 hours a day on Twitch Monday through Thursday on a regular basis, probably not working your typical 9-to-5 job. I'm just probably not. So anyways, I took issue with that part of it. It seemed like she was trying to make it sound like I'm deceiving people, when the reality is not everybody watches me on Twitch. Not everybody watches every single video I've ever posted. And even when I'm openly talking about it here, there's going to be somebody that doesn't watch this video and will still think that I work at a full-time job. And that's just the reality of how YouTube works. Now, in terms of her thinking I owe her a chunk of my AdSense money, I guess she's not saying I owe her all of my AdSense money, but this is the first time she's ever said anything like that. And I'm just like trying to process how exactly she thinks that should work. Like, I don't know, would we say the same of people who cover TLC shows? Would we say the same for all the drama channels that cover Jeffree Star, Jaclyn Hill, James Charles? Like, should they all be required to send money to those people? Like, I'm not entirely sure. And again, it's on this like false premise that the only thing about my channel is Amberlynn Reid. In fact, some of my most viewed content on my channel is the stuff about the 1,000 pound sisters. And so it just doesn't make any sense and it doesn't add up. I mean, that's just a fact. You can go look at my most popular videos and a lot of them, yes, are Amberlynn Reid, but also a good chunk of them are my coverage of things that have happened to Amy and Tammy Slayton, both on their TLC show and on social media. So besties, I don't know what to do with her there. I don't know what to do with her there. I will never deny, I guess what I will say is I'll never deny that I haven't been granted a great and wonderful life in many ways because of my YouTube channel, which has very much come from conversations, reacting to, discussing Amberlynn, etc. I am grateful for that, but to negate the work and time I put into that and also the other content I've made across platforms on the internet that don't involve Amberlynn Reid is also kind of wild to me. I don't know. And I think, she's really opening herself up to being critiqued about the way that she makes money on YouTube, in terms of exploiting different things about herself and trolling and things like that. And those are certainly conversations that I've had in the past but haven't had as much recently because I can see where she's coming from. I just think you're opening up a can of worms there, bestie. I really do. But that's fine. Like I said, Amberlynn's welcome to say whatever she'd like to say about me. That's fine. She's entitled to that, just as I'm entitled to come on here and share my thoughts and opinions about Amberlynn Reid as much or as little as I want, You feel me? With that being said, 1,000 Pound Besties starts back up tomorrow, Wednesday, January 4th. So get excited because I'll be recapping that on Thursday. Can't wait. And 1,000 Pound Sisters comes back too. And I have so much other things I want to do. People have asked for some more reactions to Pink Sparkles. Happy to give it to you, besties. I've been thinking a lot, people have asked me in the past for 90 Day Fiancé. It's a little hard because there's so much of that content out there. I don't know where to start. But then too, some people have asked me about the Sister Wives as well. And I don't know that I care to cover it too much. But I did think I could share a little personal anecdote that some people on Twitch already know about. That maybe people would enjoy. So I might do some of that. But anyways, I don't know. I just am excited to keep making YouTube content in 2023. So I'm glad y'all are here, regardless of what Amberlynn thinks. And I don't know, maybe she'll put up and shut up and actually do something about it if she thinks I'm this awful person that's doing all this terrible things. Or otherwise, shit or get off the pot. You know what I'm saying? Alright, I should really wrap up. Oh my god, this is going to be such a nuisance to edit. When she thinks that I don't put a lot of work into this, it's going to take a long time to edit, I promise you that. But thanks so much for watching today, everybody. If you're brand new here, make sure to subscribe down below. Hit the bell button so you get a notification every single time I post a new video or I go... Well, I don't go live anymore. I was going to say, or I go live on this channel. Maybe there's more of that in 2023. Leave me a comment, hit like, click share, and follow me on all my social media. I had so much fun with y'all today. I hope you did too. And I'll see you all next time. Bye!